Mom's got it. Hello and welcome back to Some Good News in the Philippines. My name is Diego. Now, for the first time ever on the show, I am afraid I'm gonna have to deliver some bad news. As you all know, or for those of you who don't, John Krasinski has reportedly sold his show, Some Good News, to TV network CBS. Now, how does this affect Some Good News in the Philippines? Well, that's because I have this fear that once CBS starts to run their version of Some Good News, there's gonna be that small possibility or that small chance that, they might not like the idea that other people around the world who use the same name as the show. Yes, I know that John Krasinski himself did say that he encouraged other people to do the same, but you just can't be too sure sometimes. So what's the good news in all this? I'm still gonna do the show, but just under a different name. As for what the show name is gonna be, I'll figure it out eventually. I might even just have to go with the cleverly named Some Good News in the Philippines. Hey. But anyways, how about we get on to the real news? Our first story happened earlier this month. Philippine Star posted a video of an elderly man who was given a mountain bike for free by Carbs Motor and Bicycle Parts. According to Hudel Pagador, staff of Carbs Motor Bicycle Parts, the elderly man had been visiting the shop almost every day to ask if there's an available bike. Available. Now, once the bike was available, the man then asked the owner, Faye Carandang, if he could buy the bike for 2,000 pesos because that's all he had. Of course, Faye had to decline because it costed more than that. But once she found out from her staff that the old man has been coming there almost every day to ask for the bike, the next day he came, she gave it to the man for free. The man, the myth, the legend, Vico Soto has done it again. Rappler reports that Pasig Mayor Vico Soto, on his 31st birthday, which is June 17, signed the appointment papers of 100 City Hall workers, making them permanent employees of the local government. Among the 100 employees regularized on Wednesday were street sweepers and engineering aides who have been hired as contractuals all this time, Soto said on his Twitter and Facebook. What you have to see here is that these people who have officially been employed have been contractuals for over 20 years. So up until last week, they didn't have proper security and benefits, but now they do. Vico has definitely been making the most of his time as the mayor, which brings me to a statement of his, and I quote, "I may not be able to make everyone permanent in 3 years, but those who have been here 20 years or longer, then after that, those 15 years or longer, let's give them security. Let's protect them from politics." What a guy. First, we had Jollibee hopping on the Animal Crossing craze. Now, Colonel Sanders himself of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, has entered the fray. This piece of news comes from UnGeek.ph, one of my favorite websites when it comes to video games, tech, and much more. UnGeek reports, KFC and Ogilvy recently teamed up to create this incredibly detailed Animal Crossing New Horizons island that features a KFC restaurant. Now, this isn't just a gimmick. This is a legit campaign, because if you go to their Facebook page, they're pretty gung-ho on their posts about the KFC Island Restaurant. They have a contest wherein you can win a free, real 8-piece bucket of KFC by finding Colonel Sanders, the avatar, somewhere on the island. So if you want to figure out how you can win a real bucket of KFC chicken by playing a video game, head on over to the KFC Philippines Facebook page for more info. Thank you for that, UnGeek.ph. Now on to our biggest piece of news that blew up all over the internet a few days ago. According to BBC, a cheap and widely available drug can help save the lives of patients seriously ill with coronavirus. The low-dose steroid treatment, Dexamethasone, is a major breakthrough in the fight against the deadly virus, UK experts say. Now, from what I understand and what I've read, this drug is still being tested. But according to researchers, tests have shown that it can cut the risk of death by a third for patients on ventilators. For those on oxygen, it cuts death by a fifth. They even went as far to state that over 5,000 lives could have been saved if they had used this to treat patients at the start of the pandemic. Now, how does dexamethasone work? According to another article I read by BBC, this drug works by dampening down the immune system. Coronavirus infection triggers inflammation as the body tries to fight it off. But sometimes the immune system goes into overdrive, and it's the reaction that can prove fatal. The very reaction designed to attack infection ends up attacking the body's own cells. Now, of course, this isn't exactly a surefire cure or vaccine. They didn't state that. Well, the researchers didn't state that at least, but it's definitely a huge step forward in the fight against COVID-19. So I highly encourage people to read through this article and don't judge it based by the headline, because there's a lot of info, a lot of useful info for everyone to consume. Check out both articles linked in the description below. This last and quick piece of news comes from my uncle, Jackie Aquino. He has recently launched a new kind of apparel called personal protective apparel. This is especially useful for those who are starting to head back to their offices or have to leave their homes for whatever reason. The description from their website reads, "Personal protective apparel is an outerwear for everyday use. PPAs are made with water-repellent microfiber, giving you an added layer of personal security." Other things I'd like to note about the PPAs is that the fabrics are actually doctor approved, as far as casual or outdoor use is concerned, but are not, and I repeat, not to be used for medical purposes. So the takeaway from all this, folks, is that if you have no choice but to go back to work, or you still got to do some groceries, but still want to take that extra precaution, consider it. Consider personal protective apparel, just to give you that extra sense of security. And there you have it, my dudes. That has been some good news in the Philippines. My name is Diego Zuluaga. And before I go, I just want to say, despite all the stuff that's been going on for the past months, just remember, keep smiling.